Hey there everyone, welcome back to another Game Vault video. As always, I'm Captain Beefy with the Game Vault, and we're going to talk about more layoffs within the industry. Gaming is in big trouble right now, unfortunately, and I don't see an end in sight to the layoffs and the studios closing, at least not in the immediate future. So let's cue to music and we'll get right into it. I just saw another story where Capcom sales were down, although Capcom doesn't seem to be very worried about it. Sales are down, so that's not good. Capcom is one of the big companies within the industry, and Street Fighter, Resident Evil, what do you call it, Monster Hunter. These guys have some really big titles, so that sucks. But we're going to talk about Bungie today. And former World of Warcraft team lead Mark Kern reacts to layoffs at Destiny developer Bungie, saying they were self-inflicted. We all know him as Grums on X, and either love him or you hate him. I respect him. I like the guy. He turns out a lot of good stuff here, and he's always he seems to be on the right side of this war. So, developer Bungie announcing it's laying off around 17% of its staff, and Grums claims those layoffs are self-inflicted. Bungie CEO and chairman Pete Parsons announced the layoffs in a blog post stating, due to rising costs of development and industry shifts, as well as enduring economic conditions, it has become clear that we need to make substantial changes to our cost structure and focus development efforts entirely on Destiny and Marathon. He then declared, that means beginning today, 220 of our roles will be eliminated. And that's representing roughly 17% of our studio's workforce. These actions will affect every level of the company, including most of our executive and senior leader roles. Parsons later stated, I realize all of this is hard news, especially following the success we have seen with the final shape, but as we've navigated the broader economic realities over the last year, and after exhausting all other mitigation options, this has become a necessary decision to refocus our studio and our business with more realistic goals and viable financials. So, something that really happened was during the lockdown, right? 2020, the pandemic, as people like to call it. Still see people wearing masks occasionally, even driving their cars, but that's another story. People were locked down, and gaming kind of boomed. So did streaming services, and we're seeing a lot of streaming services shut down and merge and stuff now. Everybody's raising their prices on everything. Our economy's in the toilet because we've got a crap government in place. There's a lot of factors going into this recession, and gaming itself kind of going into a hole and on the verge of collapse right now. Of course, it's not going to collapse completely. It's not like, oh my God, in 2 years there's not going to be any more games and, all this stuff's going to be gone. The landscape's just going to be very, very different, I assume. I think we're going to see some fundamental changes in how games are put together, how they're marketed, the money that's put into them, how that money is invested. I think there's a lot of foolishness right now in gaming that just doesn't need to be there. We see these companies like Sweet Baby Inc. and all that, these they come in as advisors and they're charging $7 million to tell you to put more gay people in your game. That's kind of silly, $7 million for that. I mean, come on. So, and I think a lot of it's just a lot of bloat in the industry, I'm sure. And like they said, these guys are going to be executive and senior leader roles. So I have a feeling that they kind of stacked people up so much because they were doing so good in 2020 that, let's hire this new team on, let's get some more people, let's develop this, let's develop that. And now they have all these people, but not so much to do because people aren't buying like they used to. People don't have the money anymore. They're not getting those stimulus checks and they're not being paid to stay home. Everybody's back to work. People aren't working from home like they used to. Everything is pretty much back to normal now. But on top of that, we're in a garbage economy. So a lot of people don't have the excessive income that they used to have. Price of groceries has gone up significantly. How can you buy, if you can't afford groceries, you're not going to be able to buy a video game. And the competition's out there. It's getting stiffer and stiffer every year. There's more and more companies putting out games. And there's more and more of these live service games. I think that's one of the bigger factors here. So these live service games really, I think they hurt the industry overall. I think they will benefit an individual developer immensely if they're successful. If they're not successful, then no. But if they're successful, like look at Fortnite, right? Fortnite is a money printing machine. Anyone that tries to go up against Fortnite suffers because they cannot compete with that. No one is going to be able to take down Fortnite. No one's going to be able to create a new game to do that. The only thing that's going to destroy Fortnite is they have to do it from within. If they if they started screwing things up and all that, that's the only thing that would screw that up. No one's going to come around and say, I'm taking their business. I'm going to create a game that's Fortnite only better, and we're going to steal their players. Yeah, no, good luck, man. People are just entrenched in that game. Okay, I get it. I'm not defending the game. I'm not a fan of games like that, and definitely not a fan of Fortnite. It's not my thing, but I got to give a lot of respect to them for what they've done there and the way they make money off that game. That's fantastic, But games like that, I think they make the industry atrophy a little bit, because here you have a game that's free to play, and every X amount of time they release a new season or new skins or new something or other and all that in a way to make money, right? From older players and new players and all that. People want the latest batch of skins. Oh my God, have you seen the new skin? It's amazing. Everybody wants it, especially kids. Kids really, it's almost predatory for kids, because they're like, oh, Mama, can I have $10 to get some Fortnite money? Or I don't know what they're called, Fortnite bucks, who knows? So they go in, they drop that money in there, and then they go get their skin or whatever. I don't even know what these skins cost these days, but it seems almost predatory, because I think it targets those kids. They get that FOMO, that fear of missing out, right? Oh, look at you suck. You're just using the basic starter skin. You're lame. You're gay. I can hear it. I can hear it from kids. Kids are nasty that way. So. But when you have a game like that continually takes money from you in smaller amounts, it's not like it's taking $70 from you in one big swoop, like a brand new AAA game would be like $70. Okay, boom. Here's my $70. Thank you for the game. Now I'm going to go play it. And there may be an expansion later on. There may be some microtransactions later on and all that. But the most of the meat and potatoes is in that $70 game that you have. You have something there to play. When you're done playing that $70 game, you can take another $70 and go buy another game. Or whatever, and boom, start over again. Oh, here's a new game. I like this one. This one's a lot of fun, yada, yada, yada. But if you're dropping, $10, $20, $30 here and there on a game in these small doses, it doesn't feel like much, right? It's like, it's like, whatever. It's not much, it's a couple bucks here and there, but it does add up. I've seen myself do it with like Fallout 76, and I'm like, damn, that money really adds up. That's one of the reasons why I quit that game. I was like, I don't, I'm not a big fan of live service games. That one was kind of fun though. It was a lot of enjoyment out of that, but I don't know. I just don't want to support that. I just feel like they're not healthy for the industry overall. They may be great, and people may love them and all that, and that's wonderful if you do. But I think that's part of what's really hurting us here is these kind of games. And it's making everything else atrophy, because you can't, why spend $70 on a game when you can go join a game for free and then pay $10 or $20 for a skin or whatever you want a season pass for $30. I don't know what they're going for. But just saying, it's kind of weird. But next, Parsons explained 2 other changes the company would be making. He says, first, we're deepening our integration with Sony Interactive Entertainment, SIE, working to integrate 155 of our roles, roughly 12%, into SIE over the next few quarters. They've worked tirelessly with us to identify roles for as many of our people as possible, enabling us together to save a great deal of talent that would otherwise have been affected by the reduction in force. Second, we're working with PlayStation Studios leadership to spin out one of our incubation projects, an action game set in a brand new science fiction or science fantasy universe, to form a new studio within PlayStation Studios to continue its promising development, he said. He then goes on to explain how Bungie got to a point where it appears to be completely imploding. For over 5 years, it has been our goal to ship games in 3 enduring global franchises. To realize that ambition, We set up several incubation projects, each seeded with senior development leaders from our existing teams. We eventually realized that this model stretched our talent too thin and did it too quickly. It also forced our studio support structure to scale to a larger level than we could realistically support, given our two primary products in development, Destiny and Marathon. Additionally, in 2023, our rapid expansion ran headlong into a broad economic slowdown, a sharp downturn in the game industry, our quality miss with Destiny 2 Lightfall, and the need to give both the Final Shape and Marathon the time needed to ensure both products deliver at the quality our players expect and deserve. We were overly ambitious, our financial safety margins were subsequently exceeded, and we began running in the red, he elaborated. After this new trajectory became clear, we knew we had to change our course and speed, and we did everything we could to avoid today's outcome, Parsons wrote. Even with exhaustive efforts undertaken across our leadership and product teams to resolve our financial challenges, these steps were simply not enough, and as a result, today we must say goodbye to incredible talent, colleagues, and friends. And that's always sad. But despite these massive layoffs and apparently gutting the studio, Parsons attempted to be optimistic. Bungie will continue to make great games. We still have over 850 team members building Destiny and Marathon, and we will continue to build amazing experiences that exceed our players' expectations. There will be a time to talk about our goals and projects, but today is not that day. Today our focus is on supporting our people, he concluded. That's good. That's good. That's good of him, right? Former World of Warcraft team leader Mark Kern reacted to the layoffs on X. Bungie layoffs were self-inflicted. A lot of Destiny players moved on to the first Descendant, which currently has double the number of players online on PC alone. Bungie celebrated Pride and called critics bigots. First Descendant celebrates summer instead. Ooh, let's take a look at this. And this is where things happen, right? This is where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. Look at this. 118,000 and 24-hour peak on the first Descendant. At the same time, 66,000 for Destiny. Here is the Bungie store. Celebrate Pride Month. Yay! And I guess this is from the first Descendant. A little bit of a bathing suit going on there. Yay! Kind of almost looks a little Stellar Blade-ish. But yeah, this is where things are going to start costing people money, and good people are going to lose jobs over this. But that's unfortunate. But the bad people that lose their jobs over this, well, you guys kind of deserve it. You guys are putting that stuff out there. Was this the cause of it? No. Did it contribute to it? I'm sure it did. Because there are a lot of people who will see that and they won't participate in the game. They won't buy it. They'll delete it off their hard drive if they're playing it. They'll be like, you know what? I don't want to support this. I'm tired of it. People are tired of being hammered with the rainbow hammer. I mean, it's absolutely frustrating to see it everywhere. And, you got to celebrate it. Buy this. Dress like that. Here's your new skin. Here's your trans bullets. It's utterly ridiculous. And, normies are tired of it. Normal people are tired of it. If the gay community wants that, they can have it. There's a new game coming out called Dust Cloud or something like that. I don't know. I saw something on it, the trailer, and Smash JT did a video on it, and oh my god, it looks so bad. It looks like an absolute dumpster fire of a game. The character design, the dialogue, the way the game's played, the narration of it, words are weapons, and it's so gay. I mean, it's really probably the worst thing I've ever seen in a game, other than something like that Kong game from a year ago and what was the other, Gollum. Those two were probably a little bit worse, but they were probably better in some ways. Like, at least they weren't preaching to you; they were just garbage. This game looks like a piece of crap, but I commend them for making the game, because it's not like they took an existing IP and screwed it up. They just made something garbage that they like, and now they can go out there and people can buy it if they want it, and more power to them. I won't buy it. It looks like garbage to me. Looks like a joke and all that. I'll make fun of it because that's my right. I'm a gamer. I do videos too. And I can make fun of games that look like crap. I can make fun of games like that. Just like people can make fun of the stuff I do. It doesn't matter, right? We all have that right and that ability there. But Grums previously detailed that Bungie became incredibly political and woke over the years while the quality of their DLC started to slip dramatically. He continued, DEI, which emphasizes checkbox hiring over merit, has profound impacts on the studio. When you start promoting and hiring activists, the product suffers. What is happening at Bungie is terrible, but many studios also realize that they took on too many activists, and the smart ones are prioritizing layoffs to trim this fat. Maybe that's what's going on here. We saw recently Microsoft cut out one of their DEI teams. Now, they got more than one, I'm sure. This was just one team. And maybe it was kind of like a test to see what the reaction was going to be like from the public. Are they going to get tons of boycotts, or are people just going to, is it just going to happen? And for a day or two, people are going to be like, no, you got rid of them, why? And then, it all just smooths out. I don't know. We'll have to see. But this trend has to reverse to save gaming, because gaming will not be saved if we keep going this route. If everybody keeps pushing DEI, and not just inside of a game, but like here, Mark's noting that when you hire that way, you don't get the best person for the job. Okay? I mean, I'm going to use one of the most obvious examples right now, and if we look at the United States right now and our government, right? And we look at the president, Joe Biden, and how he hired people on, and the people he hired, and look at the state of this country and all that. Our vice president, who will be running for president for the next term, because good old Joe can't hang for another 4 years, thank God. But she was a diversity hire. And you can say what you will about Kamala Harris, but she was a diversity hire. Joe said, I am going to hire a woman of color. And that's exactly what he did. If he said, I'm going to hire the best person for the job, and he hired her, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But that's exactly what he did. Then there was that creepy, I don't know what it was, that creepy bald guy that liked to dress like a girl and wear makeup and steal people's luggage and wear their clothes. What the hell was that thing? And then there's that, I forget what role he plays in the military, but that big ma'am dude, he's a guy with long hair, transgender in the military. It's a joke. We have become a joke because we are hiring losers because they check boxes off for us, right? It's like, oh, you come into my office for a job. Oh, well, you're black. Oh, good. There's one check. Oh, you're female. Okay, good. Lesbian. Oh, that's three in one. That's awesome. Maybe if I can compound and get 6 different checkboxes checked on 2 people, I can actually hire 2 people based on their merit and still meet all my goals. It's ridiculous. You can't keep going that way. Things are going to suffer, and quality is going to suffer. I look at writing in games now and in movies and television and all that, and you can tell when there's not been merit-based hiring going on. You can tell when people were hired because they're whatever, because the writing is absolute garbage. Mark also noted that Destiny was losing money. Bungie was running at a loss prior to the layoffs. The layoffs were going to be around 500 people, but they managed to transfer 155 to Sony and 75 to start a new Sony studio. He also reacted to a post from the manga lawyer that highlighted Parsons' official account on X and commented, the DEI rot starts at the top for Bungie. Let's see. Dad CEO. Be brave, be kind, F racism and social. Oh, yeah, here we go. Pete Parsons, you freaking jack off. Yeah, this is a clown. This is the guy that should be fired. Pete Parsons should hit the road. Replace him with somebody who just wants to put out good quality games. Get rid of him, and Bungie will be saved. I guarantee it. This is a piece of crap. Get rid of him. Most recently, Grum shared that he believes Bungie should likely cut more people and pointed to Elon Musk's takeover of X as an example. He wrote, AAA game budgets and team sizes are insane. Elon showed the way. Bungie and other AAA studios could cut deeper. Look at Bungie's X feed, full of DEI activism. Remember when they removed something that looked like the Keck flag? He then quoted Musk. Turns out you don't need many people. You're not trying to run some sort of glorified activist organization. You can really let go of people, it turns out. And he's right. I remember when he bought X and everybody, Everybody had a cow. We're going to Mastodon or whatever the other thing was. Whatever flavor of the week was, they're all crying, I'm going here, I'm going there. Just like they were all moving to Canada when Trump got elected in 2016. Or they're going somewhere else now in 2024 when he gets elected. Right, just shut up and just shut up. I mean, really. I get tired of hearing that. Don't get my hopes up. I'm going to Canada. Please. Go to Canada. It'd be awesome, man. I'm going to get on Mastodon. Good, I won't have to look at your stupid crap on X. Perfect, no problem. But to Grums's point about the studio focusing on things other than making video games, the company made numerous posts on social media pushing LGBT lifestyles and transgender ideology. One in 2022 noted that it was selling pride pins and it would donate all proceeds to advocates of trans equality. In 2018, the company announced it was wasting its money on the Seattle Pride Parade, an event that has featured adult men exposing themselves to the public while there's kids around. I don't know why these guys like to do that so much. Maybe they're... I don't want to say it, but it's kind of funny because somebody was talking about how they're going to come down on like pedophiles and stuff like that somewhere, right? And somebody got mad. Well, that's going to really have an impact on the LGBT community. And I'm like, wait, what? Why are you saying that? It's like you said the quiet part out loud there, and I heard it. But the company was also advocated for the murder of children in 2022. It posted in its blog last month, we stated without reservation that all of us deserve to choose our own path and access to health care we need. The decision by the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade cuts off millions of Americans from that access and leaves us the possibility of even further restrictions on life-saving health care for all of us. It added, Bungie's committed to ensuring that every one of our employees and families have safe and affordable access to essential healthcare needs. As we continue to expand our digital-first workplace to more states, we will now be implementing a travel reimbursement program for any employee to use when they or a dependent cannot get access to the healthcare they need where they live. So that means they'll ship your daughter across state lines to get an abortion. All right, I'm going to cut right to the chase there. Why don't you just word it out like that? And why are you doing that? I mean, what do you think? Do you think you're the hero? You think you're the white knight there? God, man, the audacity of these people is astounding. I want to see this guy hit the road. Pete Parsons, I hope they shit can you. I hope the board of directors comes in and just cut your head off and send you on your merry way. Put somebody in place there that knows what they're doing and doesn't focus on all this other garbage. As far as Bungie goes, man, sorry. It sucks you guys are losing jobs. But maybe it's time to move on if you're a good developer and you want to make quality games and you don't want to have to worry about DEI and all this other garbage because it's not going to get any better for you. They'll cut 100 and 200 jobs today. 6 months, a year down the road, they'll cut another 200 to 300. Once the bleeding starts, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop unless something major happens. And that something major is going to be, they'll probably have to start at the top for Bungie. Unless he's willing to admit he's wrong and just, sell out his principles and all that. And I often wonder, do these people really believe all this garbage? Do they believe what they're promoting? I mean, for real. Be brave, be kind, F racism, social injustice. It's so gay. All right, Pete, piss off. If you enjoyed this video at all, please leave a like on it down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring that bell for notifications. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, peace.